I get a lot of emails and messages asking me what it was like to find out we were pregnant with not just one baby, but two. And honestly, I've spoken about this quite a bit over on Snapchat, but I thought it would be good to sit down and talk about it and just have it on the website. That way, anyone in the future who finds out they're pregnant with multiples or knows someone that's pregnant with twins, they can send them here, because sometimes it's just nice to, I guess, hear from others that have been in the same position. So, a little bit of backstory. Before we found out we were pregnant, Matt and I had actually decided to rent out our house and move in with his parents because he was going through a bit of a career change and was going to study. He started to study, so we were back living with his parents. I was working full time, Matt was studying and working as much as possible. And babies, like, we knew that we wanted kids. We had always, from the moment we got together, knew we wanted a family. But we just assumed we would go about it, get married, enjoy being married, and then have kids later down the track. I was also told that it would be very difficult for me to fall pregnant because I didn't produce any progesterone, or not enough progesterone. So Matt and I were very unsafe because we didn't think that I could fall pregnant. So that might be a little bit too much information, but we'd been unsafe for a very long time and never fallen pregnant. So we were living with his parents. We were a year out from our wedding. So we paid the deposits, had the dress, everything was booked, organised, ready to go. And the wedding was our big, huge focus. It was like, the prize at the end of the year. It was what we were working hard on achieving. And so much energy was going into this wedding. And I had also been on a really big health kick. I've always been health conscious, but I kind of took it to the next level. I was going to the gym twice a day. I'd cut out anything processed. So I was getting really, really healthy and I was feeling amazing. And it didn't really dawn on me that getting so healthy might affect my hormones, but obviously it did, because in May, so our wedding was going to be in November, and in May I got really, really sick, and it really knocked me around. I was beyond nauseous all of the time, like a feeling I'd never experienced. Smells were affecting me, and this all seems really, really obvious, like, oh, obviously you're pregnant, but it did not cross my mind. I was so tired, massive headaches, and just felt shit, to be honest. And one day in particular, Matt and I went for a run, and it's quite hilly where we were living, and we were running up a hill, and Matt was like, what's wrong with you? Like, you're not keeping up. And I started crying, and I was saying to him, I don't feel good. I just don't want to get hot. I hate running when it's hot. And I kept saying, I don't feel like I should be getting hot. I feel really sick. And we got home, and I was just lying on the floor crying, saying, I feel so sick. I don't know what's going on. And Matt was saying, it's probably because you're not eating enough, animal products. You're not getting any iron. I think you should go and get a blood test. So long story short, went and got a blood test, and the doctor said, is there any chance you could be pregnant? And we kind of went, oh, not real. I mean, of course there's a chance, but it's probably not, because I don't produce progesterone, and no, like, that's not going to happen. We're not ready for that. So no, I'm obviously just missing something in my diet that's making me feel sick. Anyway, on the way out of the doctor's, I said to Matt, let's just get a pregnancy test just to rule it out, because, we might as well rule it out. So we picked up our $7 pregnancy test and went home, and he started studying, and I went and took the pregnancy test, and I came out, and I said to him, like, I need to talk to you, because we're living at his parents' house. And I was like, we're pregnant. And I was crying because I was so overwhelmed. I'm like, we can't be pregnant. We're not ready for this. And he was like, babe, it's a chemist test. It's probably not real. And I was saying to him through sobs, it's real. Like, they don't usually give false positives. They can give false negatives, but not usually false positives. And Matt was just in total denial because it was a home test. And I guess he'd never had experience with it, nor had I. But he kept saying to me, like, don't worry about it. It's probably just wrong. Like, you're not pregnant. You're not pregnant. And he even said to me, babe, you're just sick. Like, have a shower and wash your hair and you'll feel so much better. I've got to go and finish off my assignment. So have a shower, wash your hair, and you'll be okay. And I was like, oh, okay. And then it was just such a weird feeling, because I so knew in that moment that I was pregnant. But Matt was so like, no, that's not happening. And he had practical work the next day. He was going to go into high school teaching, and he had a big day of prac. and we knew that the doctor would ring with test results if I was pregnant. And he said to me, like, today's a big day, like, don't ring me, don't tell me over the phone, like, we'll talk about it tonight. Because he was like, I could see it in his eyes. He did not think for a second I was pregnant. And so I was at work and I got the phone call, and I knew, like, as soon as I picked up, the doctor said, just phoning about your test results. And I said, I'm pregnant. She goes, yeah, you are, congratulations. And it was just like it really hit me then. And so that afternoon I went in to have more blood tests, and I actually went and bought some really cute baby clothes and wrapped them up and got a card for Matt. And that night when he got home, he knew as soon as he saw me, and we went into his room because, again, living with his parents, and I gave him his little present. I was like, dude, you're going to be a dad. And that was when it was like, oh my gosh, it's really happening. So we didn't know how far along we were. We were booked in for a dating scan, and that was about in 10 days' time. So for the next 10 days, we just assumed we were pregnant with one. Twins didn't cross our mind. Fast forward to the dating scan, so excited. Going in, lying down, and the sonographer says to me that she's a trainee sonographer. And I'm like, that's cool, no problems. She puts the thingy on my tummy, and she starts going, oh, that's not good. Oh, I haven't. And I was looking at Matt, and my eyes started to well up at that point, and I was saying to Matt, there's no baby. Like, something's wrong, there's no baby. And she said, look, I haven't seen this before, but I think there's twins. I think there's 2 in there. And then we just started laughing. We're like, no, that can't be right. Actually, sorry, before that, after she was making all the sounds, she said to me, your bladder's too full, go and empty a cup. So I was like, okay. So I went to the toilet, and Matt came with me, and I was saying to him on the walk there, like, there mustn't be a baby, like, something's wrong. Went to the bathroom, came back, hopped up on the bed, and that's when she said, I think there's 2 in there. And we were just like laughing, and then I was crying, and it was very overwhelming. And I kept looking at Matt, and what I was thinking was, she's a trainee, so she's perhaps got it wrong. Like, maybe she's looking at my ovaries. Maybe she doesn't know what she's looking at. And I could see on Matt's face, he had his arms crossed, and he was looking at the screen. He was like, there's definitely 2. And it was just such a moment of, like, we were elated, I think. We were definitely more happy because it was like, oh my gosh, that's so cool. We've got twins. We had no idea how hard it would be in that moment. And so the sonographer said that she would go and get her boss or her manager, and he came in and did an internal, because bonus, if you're pregnant with twins, every scan, you get an internal, and confirmed that it was twins. And we were just laughing. I think that we said fuck off about 1,000 times. Like, we just going, fuck off. Like, twins? Really? And we were just, I think in that moment, really, really happy because we thought it was cool. One of the things that I first thought was about was, oh my gosh, I'm going to get huge, because I had no knowledge. I didn't know anyone. None of our friends really had kids at that time. I definitely didn't know anyone personally that had twins recently. So in my head, I was like, I'm going to be double the size of an average pregnant person. It was just, I guess, the real superficial side of having twins. We were thinking, oh my gosh, it's so cool. We can dress them. We get to choose 2 names. Like, it was, we had no idea, basically. We were blissfully unaware. And I think, thankfully, because if we really knew how hard it would be, we would have been terrified our whole pregnancy instead of, blissfully unaware. So it's a blessing. And at that stage, we were 7 weeks pregnant. So after the initial elation of finding out we had 2 wore off, I was really scared. I was so scared to lose a baby, because the more I read about it, the more I realised it was really common that a lot of pregnancies start off as twins, and then by 12 weeks only end up being a singleton pregnancy. So I then sort of found myself in this place of fear and anxiety of, cannot lose one baby, do not want to lose a baby, I've got to keep these 2 babies really, really safe. It was also really hard because I was so sick. I was throwing up at this stage all of the time, and we just didn't want to tell a lot of people until we got to that 12-week scan. And my whole life, I've had this feeling that I would reveal that we were pregnant on Mother's Day. Like, it's just like this weird thing that I had. And sure enough, we were pregnant in May, and we got to reveal to our family that we were having twins on Mother's Day. So we had a big Mother's Day morning brunch, like breakfast, and we sat everyone down, and I said, all right, guys, we've decided to postpone our wedding for a year. And everyone's kind of like, oh. And then Matt said, because we're pregnant. And everyone jumped up, and there was lots of embracing and lots of celebration in that moment. Everyone was really happy. And there's quite a lot of us, but I think like over 10 people there with both of our immediate families. And I just said, that's not all. We're pregnant with twins. There's 2 of them. And that's when even more fuck-offs came out. Everyone was like in shock. My mum was crying. My dad had tears. Matt's dad had tears. I just remember looking at everyone. Everyone was like collectively like my older sister was the only one who knew, and she filmed it. And that video is a really cool thing to watch because it's just such a moment of everyone so surprised that we were pregnant and pregnant with twins. So our immediate family knew at 10 weeks, and then we told the rest of the world shortly after, around 12 weeks, because we couldn't keep it a secret because I was so sick. I didn't plan on telling my work that I was pregnant, but I had to because I had to take so many days off because I just couldn't work. I was really, really ill. And that sickness continued on throughout my whole pregnancy. I ended up having to take medication to control it. In the first trimester, I lost a lot of weight because I couldn't keep any food down. All I could keep down was lemonade ice blocks. It wasn't, the sickness was really, really hard. And people say, oh, you forget about it. I haven't forgotten about it, not for a minute. It's a hard thing to forget when you're really, really sick. That might be another vlog topic. But yeah, that was how we found out that we were pregnant with twins. And yeah, that's just our little story. So I hope that is interesting for some of you out there. Definitely let me know over on Instagram if you enjoyed listening to it, because the more feedback I get, the more I can know what it is that you guys want to hear. So let's continue this conversation over on Instagram.